When desire is high, people buy. And one of the biggest problems that salespeople or professionals and experts make is they talk about their product and service. Telling isn't selling. I'm about to go on to a live coaching call with a group of people that we're going to practice creating desire. What questions do you need to ask to be able to have someone get to a point where they want it bad enough? Let's go. Welcome to the dojo. All right, seven-figure scaling systems. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the dojo, everybody. Welcome here. Today's going to be a fun day. Let's go. What's up, the flexible lady herself, Veronica? What's going on, girl? I've been seeing your content. You're crushing.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm awesome. On fire. On fire. Talk to me, Veronica. What's a win? Something big or small, business or personal? Give me a wow.
I literally just signed my first marine soldier. Till now, it's just been normal soldiers, and this one was the first marine soldier. So,
all right. Congratulations. Well done. Awesome. I love it. Ruben, what's up? Good to see you. I think this is the first time that you and I connect. Welcome to the dojo, man. Talk to me about a win. I like to ask people what a win of the week is. Something big or small, business or personal. There's no wrong answer. What's a win, Ruben?
I just signed a client today. I do a triathlon and marathon coaching. So,
all right.
I'm preparing someone for a full distance, long distance triathlon next year in September.
All right. Congrats.
So that was good.
Excellent.
Combining with 4 kids, so that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah. Hey, we're all up for the challenge, aren't we? Let's go. I love it. Clayton, putting in the steps. What's up, brother? Now, you're muted. No worries. When you're ready, I'll call on you because we're going to be working on desire today. It's one thing to be able to make a sale based on specs, based on price. When desire is high, people buy, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Abdul, what's going on, bro?
All good, Joe. Not too bad. How yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Talk to me about a win of the week, big, small, business, personal.
Managed to get a solid week in the gym, finally back to a normal routine.
Yeah?
So, a bit of a win, yeah.
All right.
We thought fall off track for a little while and get back on it.
Nice. Hey, it's all about being consistent, man. Love it. Let's go over to Yama. I'm hoping I pronounced it correctly. Is it?
no, it's llama.
Llama. I keep thinking it's an I.
Llama, like the animal.
That's correct. I'm looking at it and I'm like,
Voila.
okay, yeah. And let's face it, llamas are beautiful and so are you. So welcome to the dojo. Welcome. My apologies for, as long as you, and thank you for your patience.
No worries.
I'll get it. I'll get it. Tell me what a win of the week is. Something big or small, business, personal.
I made a sale in the DM with no discovery call for a full 6 months payment.
Atta girl.
With a free payment.
Nice. Well done. I was speaking with someone just last week, and he has a client in his business. The number blew me away. His best month in the DMs for sales, 967,000.
Wow.
Blew my mind. Yeah.
That's with no discovery call, just like in the DM.
Purely in the DM.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is he offering one-on-one?
This is a guy who's a client of mine who has one of his clients within his business. So it's just fascinating that, again, there's different skill sets, and again, it depends on what it is that you're selling. It wasn't online fitness coaching; it was something completely different.
Okay.
Nonetheless, so keep that in mind. It shows you the power in terms of knowing what your lane is and how you want to do things. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so
Wow.
And what we're going to be sharing today, and if anybody else has other wins that you want to share, by all means, please put them into the chat, because we could be doing wins all morning. For me, morning, afternoon for many of you, or evening. What I'm going to do is I'm removing some note takers just because there's just so many of them. And I want to be able to just keep an eye on whoever's got your screen open, we're going to be participating. Okay? If this is your first time in the SOS Dojo with seven-figure scaling systems, welcome here. My name is Joe Marcoux. I'm known as the sales sensei in many circles. And so what we're going to do is we're going to practice together. Just to give you guys a rundown, this is the safest place to make mistakes. So just know this, when we practice together, you are going to make mistakes. It's totally okay. You're better off making mistakes here during practice as opposed to making mistakes when you're actually on a Zoom call or even in the DM. You don't want to have somebody misinterpret what you say. Now, the benefit too, by the way, is that DMs don't necessarily, and Llama, I just want you to know this, DMs don't necessarily mean that you're just working with your thumbs. You could also be using your phone, as the device goes. You could be giving people an audio message or a video message in the DM, and that personalizes things much more. Remember this, 55% of the way that we communicate is body language. Just this, the look on your face, and can you look at a camera and connect with someone who you've never met before? What questions are you asking that get them to think that joining your program is a great idea? What questions are you asking that get them to feel that joining your program needs to happen? And that's really what we're going to be talking about today, because emotions are what drive decisions. Even the most analytical person is going to buy based on emotion and then justify their purchase with logic. Objections come along because emotions are taking over. When somebody is really excited about what it is that you have to offer, they're going to jump. They're going to go. When they're scared, or they're feeling fear, or they're afraid, or there's doubt, or there's a past that they have because they're afraid to make the wrong decision, and they're afraid of making the right decision. In some cases, people are actually afraid of making the right decision. So there's approaches that we're going to practice here in the dojo for those of you that are new, that we're going to practice these approaches so that you develop confidence, you develop conviction, and you also develop your control. These are skills that are required in the sales process. And I want to remind you all that sales is a process. As long as you follow the steps, doesn't matter what it is you're selling. In your world, it's great because you're helping people live a better quality of life through the benefits of what you have to offer through exercise, nutrition, accountability, and the specifics that you offer within that. So you've got a great reason to do it. Now it's stop selling based on specs. Let's focus in on their goals. So I want to go over a couple of things that we've covered over the last couple of weeks. And again, I'm just checking. And if there are any questions, feel free to raise your hand at any time. There are no stupid questions. The stupid thing to do is to not ask, okay? Like, it'd be foolish for you to be in this environment and not ask the group or me a question, because we're here to help support you, okay? And I'm just checking. Some people may have messaged me privately. I'm just checking. Okay, they're just note takers. Awesome. So let's get into this together here. First things first, I want to share with you this. As we follow the steps to the process, we're following what we call in the SOS Dojo the buying conversation roadmap. When you follow the steps, you earn the right to go to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. So last week we were working on SMART goals, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely goals. You're doing this to take aim, to align yourself with the right people so that you inspire them, and then you find out their motivation, their motive to action, so that you ultimately empower them to do what? On a sales call or in the DM, on a sales call or what we call a buying conversation, your job is not to coach. Your job is to empower people to do what? Anybody? What do you got to empower people to do on a buying conversation or a sales call? Anybody? Come on, guys. Safe place to make mistakes.
Make a change and challenge themselves.
Yeah, Katie, make a change. So we're getting them to decide. You got to get people to make a decision. No, by the way, no is an acceptable decision. If somebody tells you no, the promise that you're going to get out of this is the following. You're saving time. You're better off getting a no than a maybe. Because all maybe does is adds shit to your calendar and then you're working more. The goal here is to be able to empower people so that when you know their motive to action and you've inspired them and you're well aligned, they will say yes. And so that's the key factor here. So I want to go into this because we want to go into the 2 must-have ingredients to make every sale happen. And we're going to be focusing on the first one here mostly. It's desire. When desire is high, people buy. What most people are focused on during discovery is they're focused on they're just focused on one goal. And oftentimes they're not even smart goals, they're just goals. What are you looking to do? I'm looking to lose some weight. Hey, I've got the right program for you. And then they go into their pitch. Whoa. Slow down. Let's learn their specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound goals so that we can bring them down to earth. Because in some cases, some people are thinking that they're going to be able to drop 20 pounds in like a couple of months. Like they're literally out to lunch. And so what we need to do is we need to be able to, without raining on their parade, use the 2 steps of the SOS, which is acknowledge and ask a question, so that we can get them we can properly understand their goals, their desire, their level of urgency in that, so that we can commit to the way that they are empowered, because you aim right. You align, you inspire, you know their motive to action, and then you empower them to make a decision. So based on this, last week, we were doing SMART goals. And last week, I've got several of these avatars ready to go. Last week, we were dealing with this guy named Daniel. You could say Joe in this case. He's over 40. Darren Mailing's a client of the SOS Dojo. He's the owner of Freak Fitness. So the SMART goals for Daniel that you guys found out last week is that he wants to cut body fat from 22 to 15% in 16 weeks. You'll want to take note of this because I'm taking this away. And then he wanted to gain 8 pounds of lean muscle in 6 months while optimizing testosterone naturally. That's goal number 2. And then goal number 3 was improve joint mobility and flexibility with daily structured recovery. Those were Daniel's 3 goals, SMART goals. They're all specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. That's great. Now you've got goals. That's fantastic. Remember this, if you don't have the desire, the want, and I've used this image here, by the way, on purpose, because this is the kind of want that you want to have. And let me stop my screen share and bring it back here. The kind of desire that I'm making reference to is this kind of desire. That's the look. You guys are all going, what does that mean? Imagine wanting something as bad as someone that you love and that you lust for. You know that? And everybody's felt it. So I know you might be feeling uncomfortable here, kids. Guess what? You're not talking to your parents, okay? You're talking to another human being, right? When you've had that lustful want, that desire, that you just want to jump somebody's bones, you've all felt it. It's okay. We're all humans here. You can have conversations with people that create desire. So what questions do you need to ask? And so I'm going to go into something here. You've got SMART goals for someone, and you also have to remember there is a formula to help dig into desire. And the formula should be 2 times 1 times 1. The reality is it's actually 10 times 1 times 1. The 10 is the pain in the moment. The 10 is the pain in the moment. Most people avoid talking about now. Most of this, especially in the fitness space, most fitness coaches, this is what, not you guys, most fitness coaches do this. They end up getting the person's SMART goals. Okay? And I'm going to bring this back here. They end up getting this person's SMART goals, and I'll bring them back up on screen so you guys, before we start, I'm going to put you guys to work. And they go, okay, so you want to cut body fat from 22 to 15. You want to gain you want to gain, 8 pounds and you want to improve your joint mobility and flexibility. I want you to imagine it's 6 months from now and they go right into what's called future pacing. That is incorrect. You can do future pacing. If you noticed in the chat, I put 10 times 1 times 1. That's the last times 1. The first 10x needs to be the pain in the moment. How does this guy feel? People buy based on emotion and justify with logic. So what we're going to do is you guys are going to be practicing the TED method. And if you're wondering what the TED method is, it's the following. You're probably used to hearing TED in terms of TED Talk. How many of you have heard of TED Talks before? Right? Yeah. Katie, awesome stuff to be able to learn stuff on YouTube, right? That TED Talks are technology, entertainment, design. In the world of buying conversations, to get someone to feel that ultimate level of desire, you've got to ask them, how do they feel right now? Tell me what it feels like. Explain to me what it feels like right now. Describe to me, so TED, tell me, explain to me, describe to me. Have a conversation with me, you guys. So you can use tell me, explain to me, describe to me, talk to me. Go into detail about, get the details. When you get the details and you blend desire and urgency, the promise to you guys is that you will have an objection-free sale. It'll be so much easier to sell a higher ticket in a longer time frame. To get them to buy now, not today, now, RFN, requires you to get desire high. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice based on Daniel, the over 40 freak, and these specific goals. I actually have a desire. There's underlying desire to the reason behind these goals. You guys need to figure it out. So the way this is going to go is now that you've summed up, you've got a summary of these goals. What's the reason behind them? And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to go around the room. Each of you get to ask me one question. So we're going to practice critical thinking skills. You guys have to be taking note. And you have to follow the thread. So there's practice here. This might feel a little clunky because we're several of us, and this is not how a typical buying conversation or sales call works. The thing is that when you guys get really good at this, it'll come automatically. Your SMART goals, you figured out what their goals are. Now it's get the emotion into the goal. So the 10 is the pain in the moment. Tell me what it feels like, and you guys figure out a way to be able to pull the pain out. Because I can tell you right now, Elliot, question for you. Elliot Clark, I'm looking right at you. What's going to get you to move, bro? Is it going to be if your hand is on a hot fire flame, or you want to go and touch a puppy? What are you going to want to do first? Remove your hand or go and touch the puppy?
Remove my hand.
Yeah, 100%. So what do you need to do? What questions can you ask to get me to want to remove my hand from the hot fire, the pain in the moment? That's what you guys got to figure out. Then what you do, the 10x is this. That's the pain. The times 1 is asking the question. So just out of curiosity, explain to me, tell me, describe to me in any order you want. What happens if you do nothing? Because there's a consequence to doing nothing, you guys. Your guest, your future client, needs to tell you what that will be like. And that also is a future pacing of pain. So you focus on the pain in the moment. Then you future pace what happens if you do nothing. Then you future pace. Now imagine it's 6 months from now. And what do? You cross-reference with it's 6 months from now and you're down to 15% body fat. You put on 8 pounds of lean muscle. And for the first time in your life, you're able to not only just touch your toes, you've got joint mobility and flexibility, and you just feel fantastic overall. Explain to me what that feels like. And then you future pace. Because what you need to figure out is what's my desire. Once you guys hook into my emotion, and guys, it's not about getting me to cry on a call. There's some people that literally believe that they have to get their guest to bawl. That's not the point. You got to get me to feel something. Because sometimes some of you might encounter something. And Ruben, I saw your hand. Just a minute. Sometimes some people will go, so what happens if it's not that big a deal for them? What happens if this isn't that important to them? The promise is this. They're on the call with you. They've booked a call. It's important to them. What's happening is you're not asking the right questions to be able to pull what could be just an irritation to actually make it feel something. Because if you're really good at this, you can take something that's just an irritation and turn it around and make it something that's holy crap. And by the way, some people don't even realize that they actually have a huge problem or a pain point until you put the emphasis on it. And sometimes that emphasis requires you, and I'm doing it right now for focus and for impact. It requires you to just shut up. You ask a question and you listen. And then once they've said what they've said, you acknowledge. And when you acknowledge, you listen to them into existence. You label what you have heard. What emotion has come out? Label it. Tell them what they've told you. Don't mirror it. Don't be a parrot. Don't be a robot. Be yourself and label the emotion. And there's going to be an emotion piece that I'll share with you guys so you could practice it. Ruben, you had a question. And then we're going to get into the exercise.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I was wondering, would you say every kind of niche has a similar desire? Because people, for example, there are a lot of fitness coaches who are talking about people changing their life, body fat, etc. For me, I'm in a niche where there's an add-on in life. It's they want to prepare for a marathon or triathlon, which is important to them, but it's not as important, I think, and I've been trying to figure it out, as changing their whole life. So is it about digging deeper and also trying to come up with that pain? How would you? Because in my mind, I connect that also with the payments for
So here's where the challenge is going to come in for you, Ruben. And again, I'm going to challenge you. Somebody who's going to want to do, for example, a marathon or a triathlon, they're not doing it necessarily just for the fun of it. It's something they're adding to their life. The challenge that I would have for you is that most people at that point, and most of you are in the same boat, they got something to prove. Whether it's to someone else, more importantly, it's something that they want to prove to themselves. What questions do you need to ask to be able to get that out of them, Ruben? Because when you can do that, and then you align with what it is that you do to help them achieve that, they'll pay anything.
Yeah.
They'll pay anything. Because what people don't want, and especially in your world, is they don't want, if they're on the call with you, Ruben, here's the promise. They don't want to regret not doing it. They don't want to look back and go, God, I should have taken advantage. Man, I wish I could have. Like, nobody wants that. Do you? No. So there's emotion to that. The question becomes, what's the trigger? What's going to get them to feel empowered to just go, and regardless of the cost.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Does that make sense to everybody? Like it's, you all have different price points. Doesn't matter. When the desire is high, people buy.
And a simple question saying like, why is this so important?
This is so great. Ruben, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what we're going to do, because there's some new people here, and Ruben, this is so great. Again, take my information here in the dojo, like spare ribs. You're going to keep the meat. You're going to throw away the bone. My suggestion, I'm going to highly encourage you to never ask why-based questions. You're going to take your why questions and you're going to throw them out and you're going to turn them into what-based questions. Because there's a time in your life, and there's a time in everybody's life here when they were about this big, maybe a little bit bigger, okay? when a parent, an authority figure, could have been a teacher, and they could have done it in front of you, in front of other people, could have been just one-on-one. They said, "Why'd you do that?" We've all encountered that. And what happens is somebody comes on to a buying conversation with you. This is, if you walk away with anything right now, Ruben, it's like every why question, erase, change it to what? What makes this important to you as opposed to why is this important to you? Because the people are hopping on a call with you, they're already like this. It's yellow alert. Because they already know you're trying to sell them something. That's how they feel. So they're already at yellow alert. So what we want to do is we want to switch that why question to a what question. So for example, Laura, why is this important to you? You turn around and say, so what are the things that make this important to you? What? Why will get someone to go from yellow alert to I'm backing right off? The only person who should be asking why questions to you is yourself. You can ask yourself in the privacy of your own home, in your own quiet space, in the car, whatever, when you close your eyes, and you can ask yourself why. Why has been proven to be a negative trigger. So if we know this, what would prompt us to trigger something negative during a buying conversation? I could have asked, why would I ask a why-based question? So instead, it's what would prompt me to ask a negative-based question? I'm not going to do that during a buying conversation. If I'm going to aim, which by the way, aim, A-I-M-E, is French for love, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm properly aligned with my guests on the call. I have alignment. Then you are all a source of inspiration. People are following you on Instagram and they're seeing these posts, they're watching your reels, and they're feeling that they've gotten to know you and you're inspiring them enough to call you, to book a call. Your job is to get on the call with them and to find out their motivation. What is their motive to action? And ultimately give them the empowerment so that they can frickin' decide. It's not the no's that kill you, it's the frickin' maybes. So we're going to help you overcome those objections. And ultimately, if you want an objection-free sale, this is when this happens. It's finding out their SMART goals and then getting to the desire of it. So I want you guys to pull out the desire, okay? Going back, again, Laura, is that example okay? Or would you, yeah? Okay, right on. So going back to Daniel, the over 40 freak, okay? So for this, if you call me Joe or call me Daniel, that's fine. I'm not going to give anybody a hard time over this. Knowing what these SMART goals are, let's figure out what my deep-rooted desire is. And don't make an assumption, because an assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. Don't assume. What you need to do is you need to find out for real. I will tell you. You'll find out. So now you have my SMART goals. Now dig deep. What's my current pain? What happens if I do nothing? Now imagine when I achieve, what's that going to feel like? The pain you need to focus in on a long time before you transition to what happens if you do nothing. And then what does it feel like when bang, 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 bang? Anthony, my bro, good to see you. You go first. And then I'm going to call everybody out. Everybody gets to ask one question. You're going to work as a team. You're all one salesperson right now. You're all one expert. By the way, if you're not sure, just say pass. It's okay. This is a safe place. You guys are going to pick up a lot of stuff here because I'll tell you, now that you have SMART goals, this part's going to be actually easy. This should be pretty easy for you. And if anybody needs me to put the desire back up on screen or the SMART goals back up on screen, I will share that with you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Daniel, brother, so you're sitting at 22% body fat, you want to get to 15%, and you're going to put on 8 pounds of lean muscle. But so tell me, mate, what's it like to be a bit heavier set than you want to be and not as much you want? Tell me, what does that feel like being a bit chubbier and not as much as you want to be right now? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so what does it feel like right now? I look at myself and I know I'm capable of more. I see it. I see somebody like you that's doing the same thing, that's shown other people, and I'm feeling like I'm letting myself down. Veronica.
All right, so you feel like you're not really living up to your full potential, Daniel. Can you describe to me what do you currently see when you look into the mirror?
Well, I'm seeing somebody for somebody who's over 40, that I'm seeing somebody who's heavy and shouldn't be. I'm seeing somebody who looks nowhere near what he should be. I didn't expect to look this way, and I'm feeling disappointed. And yeah, I'm feeling really disappointed. Lama?
I'm sorry about your disappointment, Daniel, but tell me,
Okay, so I'm going to help you a little bit, Lama, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Quick correction. Okay, guys? Safe place. So what you said was, I'm sorry about your disappointment, Daniel, but what happens is that when you use the word but in the wrong place, it negates everything you previously said. Okay? So what you ended up, what the subconscious mind picks up on it, and you guys all heard it. So what ends up happening is, hey, Daniel, I'm really sorry that you're feeling this way, but means I don't care how you feel, right? And that's not what you mean, Lama.
Oh yeah, it's like disregarding his feelings. Yeah,
right. So here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. And here's an example, you guys. And Lama, you're gonna get your shot. So Daniel right now is feeling disappointment. Right? I'm feeling disappointed. Now, there's a variety of examples here of emotions that are up on screen. So if you find something to the level of disappointed, right? You could probably find somewhere here that, hey, you know what? This is making you feel a little depressed, and this is making you upset. And so now what you're doing is you're not just saying, so you're feeling disappointed because I said I'm disappointed. You're also adding other labels to my emotion. This is an example of an emotions list that this is called affect labeling. Nobody in your space is doing this. When you affect label, people feel heard. And so what you're doing, Lama, is that you end up showing a level of respect that nobody's ever had before. And so in this example, so what I'm going to suggest that you do is, instead of using I statements, okay, this is a habit that a lot of people have, right? I tell you I'm disappointed. Instead of going, I'm sorry, it's not about I. It's all about you. So everybody here, guess what? You got to poke your eyes out. Stop saying I. What you're going to do is you're going to go, so Daniel, or if you want to say Joe, that's fine. So Daniel, you're feeling upset about this. And you're really frustrated with the way that you're looking right now. That's true. And you guys already know how to label other emotions that connect with the disappointment. You already know how to do it. What you're not doing is putting this into practice, because this is a skill that when you hear someone, when you listen someone into existence, they're going to be so freaking connected with you, Lama. They're going to trust you implicitly, and they're not going to know why. Like, you want to talk about, this is not even a tactic anymore. You'll be able to use, by the way, this affect labeling everywhere in your life, and you'll have a level of richness to relationships that you've never had before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, it's powerful. So this is what I want you to do. And Katie, you had a question. Go ahead. But Lama, you're next. Don't worry. Go ahead, Katie.
You answered it, because I was going to ask, like, if I could say, I can see you're feeling blank.
Yeah. So we do this, right? We do the I statement thing because we want, right? Like, oftentimes people will go, okay, got it. And it's like, no, stop. Like, it's because the I is implied. It's, okay, so you're in a position, you feel, just tell them how they feel. Because they've already told you. Now what you're going to do is you're going to label and paraphrase the emotions that are right next to it, because it adds more flavor to that. Not only that, it's a fact. You're helping the person truly feel heard.
Heard.
So, Llama, I told you that I'm disappointed with what I see in the mirror. And you're going to acknowledge and then ask your next question. And by the way, you could also go, so you're feeling disappointed. If you're stuck, you can just mirror it. So you're feeling disappointed. When you say disappointed, tell me more. Describe. Go ahead.
So should I say tell me more, or like
it's up to you.
To ask?
It's up to you.
So you're saying you're disappointed, and that must be also frustrating to be in this. So what do you think has been holding you back from solving this?
Okay, so fair question, and the answer to that, and we'll go with it. Okay, we'll go with it. Yeah. Well, what's been holding me back has been I'm making excuses. I'm busy at work. I've got kids. I'm making excuses of my metabolism, and the fact of the matter is I'm just not taking action. Elliot, if you're not sure, pass. It's all good.
What would you say is the number one reason why you've not took action yet?
Okay, so let's go with the first acknowledgement, Elliot. How would you acknowledge the fact that I've said I'm procrastinating? Like, acknowledge, just for the practice of it, Elliot, when you acknowledge first and then you ask a question, what ends up happening is you take all of the pressure off the sale. So if it's like I'm procrastinating, I'm busy and everything else, what would you say at this point?
I'd normally just laugh and joke. I normally do acknowledge, to be fair. I don't know why I didn't there. I think on a call I'd probably just say something along the lines of sounds like life's just got in the way, and then I would ask a question.
There it is. Do it. That's great acknowledgement. Go for it. So just say, hey, sounds like life got in the way of go for it.
Sounds like life's got in the way. But what would you say is the number one reason why you haven't took action yet?
If I really look deep inside, I would say that the reason I haven't done it is because I'm afraid to do the work. Katie, if you're not sure, you guys just pass. It's all good. I'm afraid to do the work, Katie.
So you say you're afraid to do the work. What makes now a different time? What makes now the time?
Because you know what? I'm at a point in my life, Katie, where like at this time, I know for a fact that age is just a freaking number, and I know that my physique, what I truly want, like I know I'm capable of doing it. I just know, and I just haven't had the right tools or the plan. Laura.
So you say that you haven't had the right tools or the plan, but you feel like now is different and you are capable of that. What would happen if you didn't take action?
Atta girl. You're there. If I don't take action, then I'm gonna likely turn into this old guy who's gonna be really pissed off with himself. Because I know that the longer I wait, the harder this is likely gonna get. Abdul.
So I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Abdul. Good correction. Go.
So you know what obviously going to happen down the line if you don't take action, Joe. What was the one thing that's triggered you to actually take action today by getting another call? I've
been watching your videos, and it's just been inspiring to be able to see people my age and older look so freaking awesome. And I know it's capable. I know I'm capable. And you seem to be the guy that can help people get there. Laura?
Pass.
Okay. Veronica?
Okay, so you mentioned you're pretty much inspired by others the same age as you, Daniel. Is there something where you're comparing yourself to others, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt I mean, there's a lot of other people that are over 40 that they have amazing physiques. And I know that it's just up here for me, and I just need to have somebody give me the plan that's going to get me there. Ruben? And keep in mind, you guys, we've gone backwards a little bit because Laura, by the way, Laura took us to what happens if we don't do this. So once you've gotten into the pain and you guys have discovered it, I don't know if you guys know what the desire is. I literally said it verbatim, what my desire is. And then Laura asked, what happens if you do nothing? And I told her, I'm going to be disappointed, frustrated, and angry with myself. So where do you take it now, Ruben?
Thanks for sharing all that. That is very clear. Say we would be 6 months ahead. How would your life be looking if we would have taken action?
Right. So here are the two words that I want you to start that with, Ruben. It's like, right? You acknowledge it. So it's like, so if you do nothing, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be letting yourself down. Now, imagine. Now imagine.
Right. Yeah.
So when you say now, it's now. It's not just imagine, it's now. Imagine. It's 6 months from now. By the way, guys, you could literally do this at this point in the conversation, by the way. You've been talking to this person like 20 to maybe 25 minutes. This is not at the beginning of the call. You've earned the right to get to the desire. So now you're at this point, it's like now. You found out what their pain point is. Right? Yeah, Veronica's like, his desire is to finally reach his peak performance and not get any older whilst wasting time. Very close. Very close. And so, Ruben, using the SMART goals, you go, now, imagine. It's 6 months from now. You're at 15% body fat or less. You've put on 8 pounds of lean muscle, and you have the flexibility of a Jean-Claude Van Damme. Tell me what that feels like. Now I'm going to talk about how I feel when my goals are reached. Right? Exactly. So you're future pacing. You don't future pace until you've got the frickin' pain first. Because it's going to get me to, Elliot, get my hand off the frickin' hot pan. So now I can start imagining I'm petting the puppy with injury free.
Yeah.
So Ruben, go back to it.
Thanks for that. So imagine we would be 6 months out from here.
Yes.
You would have achieved your goal of that finally changing into that 15% body fat or less, having a solid physique like a ballet dancer, and really have the feeling that you've changed. How would that make you feel? Also apart from being sportive and all.
So yeah, and that's it. All you have to do, Ruben, is just, and this is the nice thing is you recap. So now imagine it's 6 months from now and you recap their goals. You've achieved them all. And then you just go, tell me how that feels. And then let me talk. And I say, it feels amazing. And then you can go, it feels amazing because you've accomplished it, because you've done the work and you've earned it. Describe to me what earning it really feels like. And you get me to like feel that. Then you'll transition to urgency, which we'll talk about in the future. Does that make sense to you guys? So that's just, we're doing this in a piece, and Laura said I didn't do this on my call. It's okay. Okay? So now my question, everybody, is what is, in this case, Daniel's desire? I made reference to it a couple times. Veronica's really close, by the way. It is something about getting my peak, right? His desire to finally reach his peak performance and not get any older whilst wasting time. Go ahead.
I think it is that, but I think it's even less than that. I think it's like having the confidence in himself to be able to build himself up again.
Yeah, because ultimately age is just a number. It's like he makes reference. There's other people over 40. It's like I know that like it's just a number. And it is. Laura.
At the end there, when you said we've done the bit where it says now imagine, and you recap the goals, they tell you what it feels like. You did a little bit extra at the end where you spoke about how does it feel to have done the work and like put the effort in. Are you kind of like solidifying that there is going to be work and double checking before trying to finalize?
So that's we end up doing that on the next phase. And the next phase is where we'll go. So we go, okay, how does that feel knowing that you've done the work and if you've accomplished this goal? And likely going to get, it's satisfying. It feels really good. I'm really proud of myself. Yeah, you feel proud of yourself, as you should. So then the transition to the next, to create urgency would be, and if I said this directly to you, Laura, it would be, so Laura, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important and urgent is it for you to get this program started so that you can get down to 15% body fat, get the flexibility that you're looking for, and put on those 8 pounds of muscle so you can ultimately cover the fact that age is just a frickin' number and your physique that you've always known is there is just waiting for you. So what we do is we go SMART goal, SMART goal, SMART goal, insert desire. How important and urgent is it for you? And what we're doing is it's on a scale of 1 to 10. The minute that I give it a number, what happens? It becomes logical. Everybody buys based on emotion and they justify with logic. So what we do is we bring in the number. So now we have both hemispheres of the brain firing. They're connected. And if they're not at a level 10, 9 or 10 or higher, then what we do is we overcome the objections before we mention price. This is where people fuck it up. They skip this step. And what we're going to do is we're going to be able to practice this so that it's like, so on a, if somebody says, well, I'm an 8, it's not high enough. Right? Laura, you're an 8, which is fantastic. Just out of curiosity. Like if they're a 7, 8, 7 or higher, it's like, so if as an 8, just out of curiosity, what's missing for you to be a 10? And they'll tell you, they might say, well, I don't know the price of the program. It's like, okay, so ultimately what matters is as long as the program comes into a price point that fits your budget, where does it put you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, as far as how important and urgent is this for you? I just need to know that they're bought in. We'll deal with price after, right? Or if somebody says, well, I don't know how much work this is going to be. So as long as this fits your busy schedule so that you can get the results, where would that put you on your scale of 1 to 10? So what we're doing is we're pre-objection handling before we get to the final end. We step by step. Does that make sense? Like this is the beauty of what we're doing is called sales ops. It's the objection prevention system.
I can see why you're doing it in a separate thing.
Yeah. So there's SOS, which is sales objection system, which we practice. And then what we're doing right now is ops, objection prevention system. And it's all a system. It's all a process. What happens, you guys, when you do this really well is then you get to add flavor to it, which is where people get confused that they think sales is art. Sales is not an art form. You bring in a ton of energy to a buying conversation. That's what the art is. You bring your energy. Your energy and enthusiasm gets transferred by confidence. So when you've done this enough and you guys keep coming back and you put in the repetitions, repetition's the mother of all skill. Your skill set will affect your mindset. You can meditate all you want. I'm all for it. And you've got to put in the repetitions. So you can put in the repetitions on an actual conversation with an actual guest or a prospect, and you can screw it up, and then you're going to feel like a failure, or you're going to feel like you're doing it wrong. So you do it here. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's good. We're going to make course corrections quickly. That's the point of the SOS Dojo. It's like, instead of you having to watch a full video to see where you screwed up, stop. Mama, don't use the I statement. Okay, do it again, right? Like, we're time collapsing the process. This is why this is so powerful, you guys, because it works. Whether somebody's at 5 figures to go to 6 figures, 6 figures to go to 7 figures. The SOS Dojo, by the way, we actually have $1 billion client in our roster now. You guys might know Aon Insurance. They have 50,000 employees globally. We're starting to work with them in 2 weeks. So guys, that like it works in all aspects. And I don't.
The hardest thing for me to do is going to be the I relate to people all the time, and like, oh, I understand that. Oh, I can see why. I can. That's going to be so hard.
Yeah.
Like,
and so what's interesting, Laura, is that you're going to be able to switch that statement, and you're going to relate to people at a level that they've never felt before. They're going to feel like you are listening to them into existence, because that's the problem. Most times that even if you're going in with the I statement of I understand, and to really come across that you actually do understand, you're going to say, here's what you're feeling right now. So you're feeling this right now. So you're feeling this right now. And that actually proves that you're listening. Because the moment that you use the I statement, you're taking the emphasis off of your guest and you're bringing it all to you. All to I. And you're well-meaning. And it's unfortunate that society has programmed people to do that. And so we're turning this on its head, and you're doing it at a level that, again, it's absolutely game changing. I will share with you this. When you use affect labeling correctly, you'll be able to de-escalate arguments. You'll be able to de-escalate fights, because now what you're doing is you're literally paying attention, and then you're starting to label the emotion of someone. And there's four physical cues that you'll hear and you'll see when people are feeling heard. Number one, they'll start nodding. Number two, they'll have an audible sigh. Number three, they'll say yes or yeah or something to that effect. And number four, their shoulders will drop. So it'll look like, yeah. All four things will happen immediately. It's amazing. And when you practice this, you could do this in the middle of a fight, an argument, or when somebody's feeling distressed and it's getting like drama. You can literally affect label someone, and you'll see everything will just come back to even keel. It's like a Jedi mind trick. And it's an SOS Dojo trick. It's powerful, and it works. So if you want... Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
So we were talking earlier about in the DMs.
Yeah.
Would you be for or against doing any kind of questions like this before getting on a call?
So the answer is going to depend. Questions like this aren't bad, and you got to earn the right to get there.
Right.
So as you go through, the preference would be if you're having a DM conversation back and forth, and you're actually live in it. Katie, there's literally nothing wrong with you saying, hey, are you open to get on a call right now? And you could just, bang, call them on IG right there and then in the moment. You don't have to book a call. Just get on it with them. It's going to be faster. Hey, my thumbs are getting tired. Let's hop on a call right now. Are you free? Boom. And in fact, it'd be, hey, Katie, you know what? We've been talking for the last 15 minutes. Would you be opposed to doing this on video so we can actually talk to each other live? Would you be opposed? No. So what you do by asking a no-oriented question, when you say, would you be against? Would you be opposed? My thumbs are getting tired. Okay. And then, hey, now they get to hear you, see you, and and again, the whole process, you're time collapsing it.
That's a good point, because scheduling is always a hassle anyway.
Right. Your four metrics when it comes to the things that you want to measure when it comes to sales are lead, right? Lead, set, show, close. How many leads do you have? How many people are setting appointments? How many people show up? If you're already in the DM and you're in it with them and you have the time, would you be opposed to hopping on this right now? No. Awesome. Boop. Call them. Hey, Katie. Thanks for taking the call. It shows that you're right. And then compliment. Thanks for taking the call. It shows that you're ambitious and you want to get some results. So let's keep going based on the conversation that we've had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You bet. So, yeah, Laura, I promise. Yeah. Feel like this is going to change your... No joke. No joke. I could show you testimonials, and it's not to impress you. It's to impress upon you the power of affect labeling. I wish I could say that I made this up. I didn't. It's one of my black belts who's like our lead black belt of the SOS Dojo, 75-year-old lawyer turned peacemaker. He's worked with people on death row. Inmates in prisons have completely changed the way that they look at fighting and arguing. You can imagine what it's like in a prison. So saving relationships, marriages, and let alone in this context, because in the end, what are we doing? We're selling. And selling not in the sense of trying to convince people. It's not the job. They're already convinced. Now what we got to do is we just got to get them emotionally bought in so that they decide to want to buy. Nobody wants to be sold. They want to choose to buy. So give them the choice. All right, Reshma, yeah, you're most welcome. Ruben, can you share something where we can practice affect labeling? As a matter of fact, yes. And we're going to do this live as we practice, because when we practice specific objections, so in the near future, for example, next week, we're going to actually go over uncertainty objections. Like when your guest is unsure or they're feeling a certain level of fear, and there's a variety of different emotions that go with fear, right? There's anxious, there's worry, there's concern, there's doubt. So when you label those, so we're going to practice those specifically next week. Okay? So yeah, it's great. I'm just going over the chat here. Can I ask how everyone's getting on with this? What did you mean by that, Laura?
Just as in like implementing it, and have they seen like, because even when I was doing the call last week, I'd only implemented the stuff that we'd spoke about the webinar before.
Right.
And it was so like, I was almost like shocked on the call, seeing how it was all flowing through, and I hadn't even finished what I was doing, and I managed to close the sale. So I just wondered how, because obviously I think a lot of other people have been doing this longer and probably implemented more. So I just wondered.
So I've seen Anthony raise his hand based on your question, so I'll allow Anthony to jump in because he's been coming back week after week. Anthony? And don't worry, Lama, I saw you. I'm letting Anthony, because I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, so Joe found a bit weird Joe saying how good he is and what he does. But honestly, he's excellent. So I'm just saying, like, I started a year ago, never did a sales call before. And it's funny, I jumped on a few meetings before even taking a sales call. And Joe is always saying and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay. And then when I'm on the sales calls, now you can actually see, like, it comes to, it's real life, it happens. It's just so funny. And I've literally, I've done a testimonial for Joe recently. I've literally signed so many clients saying the exact same thing Joe said to say. I said it verbatim, and then they're just buying. One thing I'll say to all is don't get frustrated, don't get stressed out. The I statement thing, everyone does an I thing. Everyone thinks it's right. So I understand how you feel. Like Joe says, it's not about us, it's about them. So you're not going to get things perfect straight away. I still say right things on sales calls. It's about acknowledging what you say and introducing it the next time. And there's one good thing that I do. When I'm on a sales call, after I'll make a little mark. Every time I say an I statement, I'll make a little mark. And then the end of the call, oh wow, like it was 12, now it's 6, now it's 2. And get back to that way. But yeah, this Joe's a legend in your business is definitely going to thrive. Coming back to these sessions. And also, I'm helping for the new guys here, watching the previous weeks on the school, watch the previous ones so you can familiarize yourselves so when you do get to these classes, you can just rep. That's where you can get most value from this.
And if you want to join, I have a school group as well. It's free for you guys to join. You guys can go in and get additional sales content there. So if you're interested, or I have other resources for you. Again, I'm not here to sell you on the SOS Dojo program. I'm here as a service. I get paid by Charlie to be here, and the results speak for themselves. So the intention here is to help you develop the right habits. So we're going to eliminate the habits that unfortunately could hinder your progress to be able to help other people. Because that's what you're here for. Yeah, you're here to make money. The money's going to show up when you become an effective and powerful communicator. And so as we get better at communication skills, that's where you're going to be able to help more people and earn more money. Because you're all level 10 experts in my mind. So that's the key. You're all level 10 experts. Now the question becomes, are you ready to become a level 10 communicator? Because if you're not an effective communicator, you'll never get paid for your level of expertise. Lama. So patient. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you for your patience. I want to ask, so you discussed the SMART goals, then you discussed the pain points. How do I know when I can transition from their pain points into my pitch?
So yeah, excellent. So you're going pain points to what happens if it doesn't, if you don't take action, or what happens if you don't do this, to now imagine the beautiful future. Then from there, what you do is you go into, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. So we link a digit or a number to make it logical. Once you get the logic piece, the number attributed, which is at least a 9 or a 10, then you transition to your offer presentation, or what we call a pitch. And your transition would sound something to the effect of, Lama, the great news is that we've been doing this for over 25 years. In fact, we've coached over 25,000 people, and we've created over 1,000 six-figure earners, and work with companies to the size, and I'm using mine as an example. In fact, you remind me of, and then what you do is you would bring up a testimonial. So then it would sound something like this, Lama. So like I go, so we got you from an 8 to a 10. Awesome, Lama. You know what the great news is that we work with people and companies just like you. In fact, we've been doing this for over 25 years. We work with organizations, getting them from 6 figures to 7 figures, 8 figures and beyond. In fact, we've worked with over 10,000 people to get them to 6-figure earners and live the life of their dreams. In fact, you remind me of this particular gentleman right here. You may or may not know the brand. Nonetheless, this is Bryce Henson. He's the founder, or he's the CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp. I just got to play this for you just for fun.
Hey there, if you're a leader looking to level up your team's ability to sell, to communicate, and to confidently handle objections, then listen up. Hi, my name is Bryce Henson.
Then you'd play the whole thing, and then you'd say, so Lama, just out of curiosity, are you ready to get results just like Bryce? Yes. Awesome.
Show them this testimonial.
So the benefit of showing a testimonial first before I show my pitch is I get to ask you, so do you want to get results just like Bryce? And you'll note, guys, that when I show my testimonials, I've got several, right? And I've got them edited so that they're short, so that I can play a testimonial appropriately. And then what I will find before the call, I will find the appropriate testimonial that will link with, like if I'm going to get, somebody like you, Lama, in the fitness space, I would make sure that I have my testimonials folder at the ready. So
what if my testimonials are all written, not video?
Oh, great question. So you can bring them up and tell the story. Okay. That being said, if you could get a video testimonial and have it right, I could go with this one and that one. It doesn't really matter. I got lots. So you should have the suggestion here, and I've got to go. The suggestion is get your testimonials by video, because what happens is people will be able to relate to the passion that this person has. And you'll note, by the way, there's some of my videos, testimonial videos, it was just an individual person. And some of them, by the way, you'll see that I actually have people that I'm interviewing them. And so and then we're editing them. So in some cases, it's like, for example, this is a member of Charlie's program.
I never actually had the chance to thank you from all of your work that you did in the 7-figure scaling system, because when I joined that program, obviously what Charlie put together was an amazing program, but the most valuable part for me was the calls with you.
Right? So, I mean, you can't, it's awesome. So I just get to go, do you want to get results just like Matt? Do you want to get results just like Bryce? Do you want to get results just like who's going to say no? And you could hear you could hear his emotion, right? You could feel how heartfelt that testimonial is. So what do? You get on a call with somebody, maybe you get them on your podcast and you go, hey, let's have a conversation. And then you get your editing team or your VA to edit. Like, I didn't edit that. I don't have time for that. That's a $10 task that nobody should be doing. You get other people to do it. Create content, you guys. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was so helpful.
Awesome. That makes my day. That's awesome. So guys, next week, on our call. We're going to be working on fear and uncertainty, how to overcome them, Ruben. Then we're going to attach a label to that. And then we're going to know not only what to say, I'll give you some scripts. It's not just what you say. Anthony will tell you, it's going to be how you say it. It's 38% tone, 55% body language. 93% of the way we communicate has nothing to do with the words. It's how you use the words. It's how you use your body. It's how you connect with people. So great job today, guys. I got to run. Thanks for stepping in the dojo. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And that is how we do it. We do it live. You can watch videos all you want. If you do it live, the benefit is you get quick course corrections and then you get the results faster for your sales. So it's up to you. You can come in and step in and come practice with us for free for a session. Come in as a guest. This is not a way to be able to sell you something. It's a way for you to experience it. And then after the call, we'll ask you, would you like to continue on as a paying member? And if you don't want to, trust me, no is an acceptable response. Absolutely fair. The thing is that it's up to you to make a decision. Do you want to come in and try it? And if you're afraid that if I try it, I'm going to like it, well, here's the thing. If you like it, the promise is you're going to get results or you get your money back. You literally have zero risk to come in and try it. All right? I'll see you in the dojo.